You get any Christmas shopping done yet?
No, been too locked in on Big East hoops.
Those Big East Hoops teams are shopping for non-conference wins.
I'll tell you what, you got 3 teams right now from the conference in the top 25, actually in the top 20. Those 3 teams combined, since we saw you last, have 5 ranked wins, showing why they're some of the best teams in the country.
The Big East 68-16 now, the combined record of the conference, and those statement wins combined with the fact the conference really has not had those bad losses, and that's why the league's off to a strong start. Jay Alter, John Fanta. Let's take a look at those non-conference wins. Fastest 2 minutes time right now on Big East Shootaround. And Jay, we're rolling into the Garden.
We were there pregame, John, and Villanova just came out ready to play, and they dismantled a really good Gonzaga team.
On the fast break, Brunson with the finish, and then this!
Bridges, hammer time, take another look. And this man putting himself on NBA draft boards with a performance like that.
A strong showing by Desi Rodriguez as well. Seton Hall coming off a win over Texas Tech at the Garden, then
Miles Powell, the clutch gene, coming up again. Rodriguez tied, and that's what a senior does on a big stage.
driving Desi. Now let's drive to Cincinnati. The Crosstown Shootout on Saturday is nothing like it.
Oh, one of the best rivalries in all of college basketball, especially when the teams are ranked like they are now. And this one, all Xavier, one-way traffic in Cincinnati.
Makura Mania on Saturday afternoon as Makura, Blewett, and company roll to a rout.
A rout and then some. Xavier is for real.
Left hand! Keelan Martin.
And
Martin playing at a high level.
He is definitely putting himself in the first-team conversation in the conference. Butler, a really good win against Utah.
We head to Milwaukee now. Theo John.
Marcus Howard continuing to light it up from 3.
Martine Crumple, as good as a Christmas crumb cake.
Creighton rolls over North Dakota. This one came down to the wire, but Providence took care of business against Brown.
Bad week for the Browns.
Yeah, I'm going to let you handle that, Cleveland sports fan. How about, Kent State? Xavier taking care of business. DePaul Blue Demons! Hello!
Time for McCollum, and let's jump in the Govan!
How do you do?
Govan with the slam. Georgetown remains unbeaten, and then back to Rucker Park we go.
Oh, love me some Johnnies. Always putting in the dunks. Keep it coming, St. John's. We need to see it out in L.A. Arizona State, St. John's, Red Storm make a statement on the West Coast.
And that's where we start with our fast break. Let's get out on the run. What do you think that this threesome would do?
They'd beat us in a game of 3-on-3, I can tell you that. You got before Steph Curry and Kevin Durant came to town, those two, Mullen and Walton, the most famous Warriors in franchise history.
There is Mitch Richmond, and really cool to see those guys. The Johnnies out west right now and riding a 3-game winning streak.
And I really like what St. John's is doing in their non-conference schedule. This is an opportunity to go on the road to beat a good Grand Canyon team in a very tough place to play, and now a statement. If you can beat a ranked Arizona State team, an Arizona State team who beat Xavier in Las Vegas, then St. John's, we already think they're for real. They would tell the country, guess what? We are for real.
Bobby Hurley's Sun Devils are one of the only unbeatens left in college basketball. There's only 9 left now, I believe, after last night.
9 left, 2 in this conference, Villanova and Patrick Ewing's Georgetown.
Let's turn to a couple of coaches talking football. They're basketball guys, but who says they can't talk some football?
Well, look, this is a stressful non-conference schedule, and it's even more stressful when you're a Bengals fan like Chris Mack. Coach McDermott, don't mess with Big Ben.
Let's remember that when Xavier and Creighton face off in conference season.
Is it tough to watch a game like Steelers-Bengals, 2 competent AFC North teams after you've watched 0-12 for this NFL season?
I've become immune to it, Jay. It's immunity. That's what it is.
We love the passion. Basketball, football, doesn't matter. Keep it coming.
You know what I like?
Love the banter.
I like food.
Well, we know that.
Ed Cooley does too. He was in Friartown joining the lunch tables.
That's the cool table right there with Coach Cooley there.
Oh, boy, he's coming in cool today.
I never got to sit at the cool table. But
really?
No. But Coach
Never
Cooley.
invited?
Nope. Coach Cooley pulling up a seat and chatting before the students head out on holiday break. And really cool.
In a game of recess football, I'd take Ed Cooley at tight end.
Yeah, tight end. Oh, I'd go McDermott at tight end. That'd be a great matchup.
You're a Syracuse slum. You never had lunch with Coach Boeheim?
No, he wasn't pulling up a chair. Who's your quarterback?
My quarterback out of the coaches?
Yeah.
I would take, I think that Greg McDermott has Big Ben in him.
Really?
So I want the big guy. I want him, you know what I mean? He's tall. He can see over the line of scrimmage.
Give me Chris Mullen, little lefty.
Around the NBA, we always feature a player every week, and this one is a Villanova alum. It's Kyle Lowry.
He's been doing it for a long time, but right now the Raptors on a 4-game win streak. Kyle Lowry putting himself in the All-Star conversation once again. 20 points, double-double the other night in a win against Charlotte.
Wow, how about the handle? That is a beautiful raindrop.
He has gotten so much better since he played in the Big East with Villanova. Really, he used to just be a grinder, a driver. He's developed the outside shot, one of the best guards in the entire country.
Well, and he's made getting to the playoffs a consistent thing for this Toronto organization. You know, they've been a good organization, but he's taken it to the next level.
Look at those numbers.
Yeah.
7.8 rebounds. I mean, it's incredible. Kyle Lowry has really taken. He was really the first Villanova player when you looked at and said, "Whew, that kid is going to do something in the NBA." And the Wildcats have continued to put players in the NBA since Lowry, but he was the first one where you had to stop and say, "Man, Jay Wright is really recruiting some talented kids to this campus."
There's no doubt about that, and that was on display earlier this week on Tuesday night when the Wildcats dismantled a very good Gonzaga team. It didn't matter, though. Villanova was all that much better, and the world is learning who Mikal Bridges is. Jay Alter caught up with Jay Wright, and maybe another Jay as well. That's coming up. But first, this week is the anniversary, a couple years ago, of a great win for St. John's inside the Carrier Dome. And that orange that night, it was actually green.
Inside the arc, a touch for Pointer. Nothing there. Green fires and hits a three to tie the game. His first field goal since early in the first half. 8 on the clock. Pointer driving on Christmas and shut off. Jordan for Green. A three is good. Phil Green gives St. John's the lead. Who does Syracuse turn to? Harrison saved it off the deflection. Here comes Green against Benajay, and he finishes at the rim. Phil Green is doing it for the Johnnies. Jim Boeheim calls timeout.
To win in the Carrier Dome, you need to believe. I think these guys believe. Creating the turnover, great hustle by Harrison, and really an unbelievable finish on the other end.
Phil Green with a sudden 8-point spurt in the last couple of minutes and running the clock all the way down to 7. Pointer. The pitch. Another three. It's good again for Phil Green. On fire in the last 3 minutes. And St. John's has a 6-point lead.
Chatting with Villanova head coach Jay Wright after an 88-72 victory over Gonzaga. Coach, that's a really good Gonzaga team. What impressed you most about your team's performance tonight?
Just our consistency over 40 minutes defensively, and you said that Gonzaga is really good. We thought we played really good defense, and they shot 48%. So that just shows how efficient they are. But we did a good job defending the three. That was good, and we did it consistently. You know, we got a lead and we held it. I was happy with that.
Mikal Bridges tonight, a career high 28 points. What has it been like from your perspective to see his growth?
Well, that's what you really love as a coach. You see a guy reach his potential. You know, he came in a skinny little kid that couldn't even get through practice, really. He got banged around so much. We had to redshirt him, and he just kept getting better. He stayed confident, and it's a great support system, mom and dad. And so you really enjoy that as a coach when you see a guy play like that on a stage like this.
Well, when he makes a dunk like that in the second half, in the world's most famous arena, do you have to almost take yourself out of the game a little bit and just be blown away about how well he's playing right now?
Yeah, there's a second where you think, all right, that one's going to be replayed 100 times. But then you got to get on. But then he blocked a shot the next play. Place went crazy. And then after that, they must have shown the replay because I heard everybody go crazy again. But so you got to force yourself to get back in the moment.
And you said the place goes crazy. It almost feels like a home game sometimes when you're playing in this building, as Jay Williams giving Jay Wright some.
This is my coach.
Actually,
this is my coach. I was 18 years old.
I coaches to USA basketball, man.
Wow.
Thank God for him because we had some loons on that team.
Changed my life.
He was the sane one that kept everybody in order, man.
You never age one bit.
Oh, yeah, I'm an old dude, man.
I got to say, for the second there, we had 3 J's. You rarely get that.
Yeah, man. This is Major League TV here.
I got it. We'll let Jay go after this because I know you got to get back to campus. But when you're playing in front of a crowd like that, it almost feels like a home game. And to be participating in something like the Jimmy V here at MSG, what does it mean to you and your program?
These are the moments when you just step back and think, like, I'm really blessed guy, you know, and I tell our team to understand that too, that you're playing in the world's most famous arena. You got a Big East crowd in there with the Syracuse, Connecticut people. You can tell. I would not have wanted to be Gonzaga in there. And you're playing well, playing a great team. Those are moments in life you got to really cherish and you got to be thankful for.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you joining us after a great win. Enjoy it.
Good to see you, buddy.
It was such a complete performance by Villanova. Their defense was excellent. And like Jay Wright just said, Bridges, after the dunk, the epitome of Villanova basketball. Next play mentality. Comes up with the block.
A marquee win for the Wildcats. And we want here on Shootaround, of course, we want your fan interaction. Send us your comments. Send us your questions. We'll try and get you on at the end of the show. And we want to, you know, we've been talking about in the office, what was the best non-conference win so far this season of a Big East team? Send it in. We'll get to it at the end of the show. And actually, we have a question right now about the Seton Hall Pirates. After 2 ranked wins this week, what's the outlook for Seton Hall the rest of the way?
This is a fantastic last week for Seton Hall. After a tough performance in Brooklyn, the Pirates responded, and we've got Miles Powell and Kadeen Carrington who talked about that, but the outlook for Seton Hall is that they can contend for a Big East title. When you go to Louisville and win, a place, Louisville at the Yum Center, have won 58 of their last 59 non-conference home games. That was a statement. The Pirates have found themselves defensively. They put Ish Sanogo back in the starting lineup. And the variable here is Desi Rodriguez. People always have known he's a good player. Right now he has played excellent basketball. When the Pirates pair defense up with that star, they are really dangerous in this conference. And I think that they go into Big East play with just the 1 loss in Brooklyn. The rest of the way,
Really?
Now VCU on Saturday afternoon.
That's a tough test.
It's a tough test, but it's nothing Seton Hall cannot handle after what they did last week. They're going to go into Big East play with just 1 loss in my mind, and this is a team that can contend for a Big East title.
Now, John Fanta took a deep dive with the Pirates, checked things out with Miles Powell and Kadeen Carrington. Here's what they had to say.
The Seton Hall Pirates won the hottest teams in the country after notching 2 top 25 wins away from home, and we're joined by 2 backcourt stars for the Pirates, Kadeen Carrington and Miles Powell. Guys, before we get to anything, we have to start with this from Sunday.
That's what we do.
This is what
we do.
This is what we do, baby.
This is
What's your reaction to that?
I didn't even know they did that.
Seems like Jelly Walker, he never fails, right, Miles?
Yeah, I mean, he's our energy guy, so when we're on the bench and we need things going, we look to him for him to crowd and stuff.
Let's turn to this past Sunday, and Kadeen, to get a road win in non-conference play like you did against Louisville, what's it do for your group?
It does a lot. It gives us a lot of confidence. We knew that going to Louisville and playing there was going to be tough, so we just try to go in and stay focused. It just shows our experience. We've been here for a little while now. We start 4 seniors, and Miles, he played a lot last year, so it shows how experienced we are.
All right, you two going up against each other in 2K. Who's winning?
He hasn't beat me yet.
How many matchups have we had?
Oh, man.
How many times have you faced each other?
Once. I give it like 3. He hasn't beat me yet. He hasn't beat me yet. It's 2-1.
Somebody's lying here. What about one-on-one? I was thinking maybe Miles, are you catching up to Dino?
Catching up? It ain't nothing to catch up to. I mean, he got lucky one time, like in the preseason. We came in the nighttime and played one-on-one, and he got a little hot.
NBA. Miles, who's your favorite team and why?
The Cavaliers, because J.R. Smith. I'm out of my game after J.R., and that's why I want to play like.
Will we see any J.R. Smith celebrations this year from you?
Yeah, I got a couple.
This one comes to mind. Well, you guys are playing in the Never Forget Tribute Classic on Saturday, taking on VCU. You went to the 9/11 memorial last week. Kadeem, what does this event, playing in it, mean for you?
It means a lot. We went there and we really saw like the toll it took on the families, all the people that lost their lives in that day. We just learned a lot. So it's a sad story. It's great that we get to help and play for the families of the lost ones, kind of help them out.
You guys, you're experiencing some of the best results that you've had in non-conference play. Not only that, you're facing your toughest non-conference schedule in your time at the Hall. What can this do for when the Big East grind begins?
It does a lot. I think we played a couple teams that's like Big East teams. Like I think Louisville's kind of crazy. You know, Texas Tech, they play tough, real gritty. So that's the type of team that we're going to see in the Big East. So it's just giving us practice.
All right, Miles Powell, I want to see a J.R. Smith celebration Saturday. Can we count on that?
Gotcha.
There it is, and the dish will be from Dino. Kadeem, Miles, good luck on Saturday. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You always ask players, who do they model your game after? Who do you model your game after?
Zadrunas Ogauskas.
Okay, the Big Z.
The Big Z.
The Big
I love
JF.
the Big Z.
That is not the
Who do
answer
you,
I was expecting.
What about you?
Consider myself an Allen Iverson disciple. Yeah.
JaVale McGee.
The crossover.
What do we got? We got fan questions
We
out
got
here.
fan questions. Well, John, I just said a couple of minutes ago, what was the best non-conference win of the season? We tossed that out, and boy, did we get a response. Big East fans passionate about who they thought was the best non-conference win of the season here for Big East. Seton Hall at Louisville. We just talked to the Pirates. That's certainly up there. Huge road win.
I like the Butler of Ohio State submission because of the fashion that it came in. They were down 15 with a couple minutes left and rallied to get it done. And then the way that Villanova beat the number 12 team in the country.
It wasn't just that they won.
No.
It's the way they won.
Yeah, they dominated the game, and they were in such a flow. We didn't talk about Omari Spellman and how good he looked in that game.
St. John's over Grand Canyon.
Yeah, the Red Storm pulling it out, and away from home, nothing easy.
And then Providence, they beat a Washington team that just knocked off number 2 Kansas last night, so that win looks a whole lot better today than it did even 2 weeks ago.
Absolutely. Going back to St. John's, that's now 5 of their last 6 games, including tomorrow, have been away from home. So that builds up a team. What do we got here?
Yeah. Seton Hall and Louisville, they cannot be trusted. That is by far the number 1 win according to Twitter. If you look at the response, that's the response we got because you go on the road, you beat a ranked team. That's the criteria that we usually talk about in March.
And let's not forget about the Xavier Musketeers and what they've put together.
Yes.
The loss to Arizona State, Trayvon Blewett and J.P. McCura told me last week that it really remotivated them. And the Musketeers, they have one of the toughest places to play in college basketball, and it showed. To start on a 21-5 run against a top 15 opponent, I know it's your rival, but that was ultra impressive by Xavier. They have multiple ways they can beat a team. This is a dark horse Final Four team because of the fact that it's not just Trayvon Blewett and J.P. McCura, but Karam Cantor got it done against Cincinnati, and Kaiser Gates was fantastic against Baylor, and defensively, they get up in you. So I love the way that Xavier and Seton Hall are playing right now. I think Villanova at the beginning of the week reestablished, though, and again, you're going to have to take it from them. They do not beat themselves, and they showed Gonzaga a thing or two at the Garden.
I'll tell you what, if St. John's can beat Arizona State Friday night in Los Angeles, that would be my best win of the non-conference season.
It really would be a statement. Yeah.
Because, yes, of course, great wins, 5 ranked wins for Villanova, Seton Hall, and Xavier combined this week. But those were the teams that we expected at the top of the conference,
Sure.
the top 3 in the Big East preseason poll. They're supposed to be getting these ranked wins, these tough wins. If St. John's can go all the way to the West Coast and beat an undefeated Arizona State team, Johnnies are for real.
Well, we had a lot of fun out at Xavier this past weekend. The Crosstown Shootout between the Musketeers and the Bearcats is much more than just a game. It is the event around there, and we could tell this past weekend. So we give you the sights and sounds of what was a spectacular Saturday and Friday around Musketeer land.
We are here in Cincinnati. It's the Skyline Chili Crosstown Shootout at the
the Cintas Center. It's a top 25 matchup. Number 11, Cincinnati against number 21, Xavier. And oh boy, is this going to be fun. First shot of the game for Blewett is good from 3.
Well, over my decades of broadcasting, I've also done Louisville, Kentucky. I've seen Duke and Carolina. And as far as intensity is concerned, this Crosstown Shootout takes no backseat to any of those. It's about the city. It's more than the players. It's about the proximity. It's about the school.
I'm going to remember it for the rest of my life. I think our fans did an amazing job starting yesterday, camping out, and then bringing the energy today. They were a big reason why we won the game.
This is the war that you dreamt about. And when we were in that locker room, we were in that ballroom last night, that we talked about. No other war. This one right here. Let's go. This is our war.
Players so far early. Blewett, the deep 3. Marshall on his zone right away. 89-76. They've now won 8 of 11 Crosstown Shootouts.
What's this week say about this group? 2 top 25 wins?
That we're tough. It doesn't matter who we play, who comes in our house, where we go. We're going to give you a battle, and we feel like we can compete with the best of them.
This is where the heart is. Players turning the stars and shining enormous, as bright as the light you see in the garden. Best experience come from the Big East tournament. Monster MSG, where we born to be victorious. I was born to be victorious. Most definitely victorious. I'm destined to be
the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden. Get tickets now.
I'll tell you, those two videos back to back giving us chills here on set here at the Big East Digital Network, because really you take the intensity that we saw at the Garden Tuesday night with the Villanova fans, the Crosstown Shootout fans you saw in Cincinnati, all comes together here in the Big East Conference.
And it doesn't get better in college basketball in December than what we just saw in the Crosstown Shootout on Saturday. The intensity of that rivalry, it is real year in and year out.
And that's a heck of a coaching performance from Chris Mack to not only win that game, but just from tip-off, dominate and own the town of Cincinnati, the city of Cincinnati, and what a dominant performance that was.
Well, you know what? He said it. He goes, we got bullied by these guys last year on the glass.
Yep.
And his team came ready with a punchback. Blewett and Mercury did not want their last Crosstown Shootout to be a loss.
Yeah,
they got the revenge they wanted.
We saw that and then some. Great win for Xavier. Looking ahead here at the Big East Conference, it's another good slate. Teams looking to bolster those non-conference resumes.
Yes, and the big Fox game on Saturday on the Fox Broadcast Network, Seton Hall and VCU. What else do you have your eye on?
I look at Marquette at Wisconsin. Really good opportunity for the Golden Eagles to get a marquee win in non-conference. And then watch out for Xavier in Colorado. Musketeers, it's a dangerous game. It's a good Colorado team. Need to take care of business there.
Dominique Collier is a really solid guard for Colorado. The Buffs coming off a win over New Mexico. They only have one loss. Tad Boyle's doing a good coaching job. And this Colorado team, young, but will test Xavier.
And then we already talked about it a lot earlier in the show, but St. John's, Arizona State, obviously Johnny's an opportunity to make a big statement against an unbeaten Sun Devils team.
And naturally, Creighton, Nebraska, sold out.
Oh, I mean,
it'll be rocking at the CenturyLink Center.
You almost take it for granted that it's just going to be another unbelievable atmosphere, but what a great in-state game that'll be in Nebraska.
And the Huskers are coming off a statement win over Minnesota.
That was
Miles'
an incredible
group.
win.
Yeah.
But the Blue Jays going to take care of business in the home state.
That's right. Wear your red on Friday for St. John's. But
Yes.
you better not wear an ounce of red on Saturday.
Get
Alter.
the blue. Get the
Get the
blue
blue
going.
for Creighton.
I got to ask you for St. John's quickly.
Yeah.
Will Herm Edwards be there? New football
You
head
played to
coach.
win the game.
Introduced at halftime.
That's
No.
right. The Sun Devils. What an interesting Herm Edwards and Bobby Hurley. That'd be quite a dinner.
Yeah. The four of us.
Now we're inviting ourselves. I hope
guess.
they're picking up the tab. We turn to Beyond the Game.
Yes.
this week. And in our Beyond the Game segment, a great thing to announce, Marquette's Marcus Howard. You know him for what he does on the court, and he is a spectacular three-point shooter, but he also is a leader off the court. He has been named to the NCAA Men's Basketball Oversight Committee. This is a committee made up of primarily administrators, including our own commissioner, Val Ackerman, but also Howard, one of 2 players in Division I college basketball to get selected for this.
And as you can see, the Commissioner Val Ackerman weighing in. This is a huge honor to have a player from the conference sit on such a prestigious committee. And we've spoken to Marcus for just being a sophomore.
Oh my gosh.
He is so more mature beyond his years, on and off the court. And I couldn't think of a better player to represent not just Marquette, but the entire conference in getting this prestigious honor.
This is a guy that you see him on the court.
Yep.
And you just said beyond his years, but he cares about the guys around him. And this Marquette Golden Eagles program is going to be a lot better off as time goes on in his career. They're lucky to have him. That's a reflection of Steve Wojciechowski's recruiting as well. Guys like Howard and Sam Hauser, they are first-class guys on and off the court.
Marcus Howard is a different breed. We met him, I remember, at Freshman Fundamentals. And for being such a young man, I was blown away. And he has carried himself to that high standard since then. And as a sophomore, he's a leader in the conference. He's a leader for his school and now a leader in the entire nation when it comes to college basketball.
December forges on. We've got only 2 more shows left next week and the following week before Christmas.
The holiday special?
Yeah, the holiday special's 2 weeks away.
Okay.
We're starting to plan. The graphics folks already had some holiday stuff out this week, which excites me.
Well, we've been playing, Christmas music around the office. Everybody's in a great mood, except for John a little earlier today with the Browns news.
That's all right. Call me the Grinch this morning, but it won't be in our holiday special. We're back, though, next Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, previewing what will be an even bigger weekend of games. We got some rivalries renewed. We've got Ewing versus Boeheim.
Wow.
We're going to be talking about that next Thursday as the Hoyas are unbeaten. They are in action tonight. They're taking on Howard. They look to keep it rolling. Anything else?
No, I'm good. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Big East basketball never stops. Thanks for joining us.
Enjoy your weekend. This has been Big East Shootaround.